Hey everybody, Paul Burry, Family Friendly Gaming, doing some, we're going to do FFG reacts to the Nacon Connect. In fact, I'm going to swap places with Peter. As you hear Princess, she sees me and hears me and wonders why I'm not playing with her. It's also during lunchtime. Hopefully I'm still in frame here.
Just flip it over to Streamlabs and see.
Let's double check. Yeah, I'm still good, okay. Alright, back there. Alright, so we're going to be doing a react to the FFG Nacon event. Thank you. Got my chips.
Hello.
This is lunchtime.
Premieres to begin shortly. Joe Cook refresh.
You know my eyesight's not 20/20, right?
It's in the same spot I watched this though.
It's right here, isn't it?
That'll be where it is when it's live. It should be pretty short.
Alright, so maybe I can get some of my lunch eaten before.
You can eat it during whatever thing. You said the first thing wasn't family friendly anyways.
Oh, hey Gracie's Toys, how you doing?
Hi. I got it.
Yeah. We're hoping there's some family from the games in here, but we don't know.
There's a racing game or something. It's one of the studios or something. Racing games, so like.
And they just recently did the Hunting Simulator 2 game.
I just mean her name is whatever company's racing games. Maybe just maybe it's kind of hard to escape from that big games.
Yeah.
Glad you're doing racing.
I do not see.
He was so offended.
Oh well. You gotta do that sometimes. Cold jelly. The jelly came out of my hot dog bun. We finished the hot dogs, but I'm trying to use the buns for sandwiches.
I normally do play Hawks on YouTube.
I have. That's that kind of dance rhythm game.
Japanese pop I always used to be like. It's pretty neat technology. I don't understand the application of it, but you know it's neat.
Oh, top 10. Here we go. I know they're gonna have an intro.
Some of those are like little colorblind tests.
They've emailed us about this. They said, "Hey, come watch this." I'm like, "Okay." Uh-oh.
Peggy 18.
Not for our audience. There's that racing. Looks like dirt to me. A tennis game. Okay.
I say you go start an update in case they stream after. You still got 2 minutes.
Yeah. Peter will be right back. Oh, WRC 9. I can wait. WRC 9? Probably. So now they're announcing the sales they have online for digital games. Oh, they did AO Tennis too. Remember that game? I get better with every WRC game I play. Hey Danella, how you doing? We do like to do game reacts, or like press conference reacts. We like to do react stuff. Yeah, we like unboxings as well. When companies send us stuff. I think we already have a copy of these, don't we? WSU game.
Yeah.
You can come in if you want, no? Until Peter comes back and be like, hey.
Hello, everyone. It's me,
It's me. It's DDP.
DPA.
Self high five.
No. And I haven't been getting my 6 hours of my game time because
How about toy reactions? We haven't tried toy reactions yet. I guess if they do videos of them?
Definitely am. Yeah,
Yeah. If they do videos of them, we could do that. We have to buy toys and send us toys to do a reaction to them. Bonjour.
My name is Benoit Claire. I'm head of publishing at Nacon. It's an honor and a privilege to open our first digital conference, Nacon Connect. For our games and peripherals, the last 2 years have been highly eventful for Nacon. Talented studios and high-profile partners have joined us in our big project, which can be summarized with a single word: passion. Each of our teams is composed of passionate people, specialists of a particular genre, sport or technology. Like you, they are fans of motor racing, role-playing, adventure games and simulations. They dream of rugby, tennis, cycling. They are addicted to deck builders and roguelikes. Like you, they want peripherals,
Chris, yes,
headsets,
how about,
keyboards,
TV
mice
show
and
reactions? We have
controllers
not
that
tried
allow us
that.
meet or exceed expectations. And every day, they work hard to give passionate
I'd be worried
gamers
about
like you what
copyright.
they want. Over the last few months, they have prepared a number of surprises for you. So
maybe
without
we could-
further
maybe we
ado,
could
I'm
talk
proud
about
and
that.
delighted to leave you in the hands of some of our talented people who will be introducing you to the future of Nacon.
Hey, Connie's slow. Don't we like one of their big PR?
We're supposed to be announcing games. Oh, it's a swan. Or is it a goose? Looks like a swan to me. Big Bad Wolf Studio.
That company sounds so familiar.
Friends and subjects,
Hello, Danielle.
thank you all for coming.
Gracie, we
We're
have not
gathered
done movie
here
reactions either.
to celebrate the unification of
We may have to look into
Boston
that.
and Hartford. One new domain,
All need
strong, safe,
needles.
and united in upholding the masquerade.
This looks
Tonight, we rewrite the story of the Boston Camarilla. Tonight, we revolutionize our blood supply.
bad. Vampire game.
A new era is upon us. Raise your glasses with me. Out with the old, in with the new.
Sorry.
Let the party begin.
We're getting an M game right now. She asked about doing TV show or movie reacts. Yeah. Shotgun.
Cabana. It's a rifle for hunting, and they're hunting vampires. It's almost like it's doing what it was designed to do. Hunting. Wow. Hey, it's on newer consoles too.
I'm not surprised. Looking at that, when you saw it, you should have seen her doing her lips, putting her lipstick on. It looked like a PS4 game.
Bonjour, je m'appelle
Yeah,
Elliot.
that's not gonna be a
My
good
name is
game.
Ilya Tipo,
Not for
and I'm a
families.
quest designer at Big Bad Wolf Studio. We're currently working on Vampire the Masquerade, Swanson. At Big Bad Wolf, we specialize in story-driven RPGs. Story-driven because we want to tell a story, and RPG because we want to give players as much freedom as possible to roleplay, like in
Hopefully they'll have more of stuff like that. Hey, I totally agree with you, Grace. It is
combination
creepy.
for adapting a franchise like Vampire the Masquerade into a video game. The world
Hopefully
of
they
Vampire
don't-
the Masquerade is basically like ours.
Hopefully all their
With
games aren't like that,
vampires.
but I know they
There are
gotta have some-
smartphones, electric cars, and all
couple
other
good games
familiar
for
items.
families.
But vampires walk among us. The only thing is that they are outnumbered by humans and so must remain hidden. This is what we call the Masquerade. The only rule that vampires must comply with, and that the Camarilla, the largest vampire sect, tries to enforce. It's the 21st century.
I agree, it is
a
scary
very
as well.
challenging and dark time for vampires. The elders have left and London has fallen. Against this difficulty and uncertain backdrop, a new prince emerges to take charge of the Camarilla in Boston. The shootout you saw in the trailer is the start of the game. It's the event that triggers all the twists and turns that you'll face as a player and try to influence.
Hopefully they move on
The
soon.
attack. Why was it ordered? These are the type of questions you need to find answers to in Swanson. Vampires are undead, so they have no pulse or vital signs. The closer they come into physical and emotional contact with humans, the more dangerous it is for them. And of course, that's where we will take you. You won't play as a single character, but rather 3 different characters.
Oh, so you are Troy? Were you our superstar of the stream for the Disney Sum Sum?
The world and the Camarilla. It's also a chance to make them interesting as characters. Each of them has a separate backstory and past that is as interesting to explore as the mainline story unfolding in the present.
If you are, welcome back.
So it's your task to lead the investigation and find out who is behind the attack, who is after the Camarilla, and why. Your first task is to complete your character sheet. For each of your 3 characters,
So I think this is supposed to go on for like 38 minutes, we saw somewhere.
We have things like persuasion
Well, very
and psychological
cool.
attributes that can
Troy?
help you influence people and unlock dialogue, options, choices, etc. They are also associated with skills that are useful in the
back.
world around you. You can pick locks, hack terminals,
I agree with
and
you,
other
Gracie.
skills
That's not
that
very
have
creepy.
practical use while exploring the world.
I just keep
The
hoping they
intent
get on
behind
to
the
something
choices
else.
we give
It's
you is
like,
to put you
come
in
on.
difficult situations
Moving
where
on,
nothing is
moving
black
on.
and white. Everything's a shade of gray. You might have 2 options, but not want to choose either of them. You play as monsters, and you'll feel that in all aspects of the game at all
don't wanna be a
moments in
monster.
the storyline. There are obviously
I've never really
multiple
understood video
endings
games
based
where like
on the
you need to
choices
play as
you
the
make
bad
in the
guy.
game's
Why? I
different
want to play as the good
quests.
guy.
We
I
really
like being the
hope
good
you
guy.
become engrossed in this
I don't wanna be a bad
unique
guy.
game concept in which we're trying to push the limits of what you can do with interactive
I wanna be the good
storytelling.
guy,
We're
forget
trying
being
to
the bad
expand
guy.
the number of choices and variety of
That's my
situations
opinion.
as much as possible. We can't
Some
wait
people
for
think
you
that
to
opinion
find
is
out more
controversial,
about it.
but
We can't
whatever.
wait for you to play it, and we're really looking
Whatever.
forward to hearing your feedback.
Oh, yes, moving on. Moving on. Next. Maybe. Next. Oh, Race Ward.
I'm Marco Ponte, CEO of Raceward Studio. In September 2019, we joined the Nacon family. And soon after, we
Totally agree
started
with you,
putting all our
Gracie.
passion into developing
I'm doing good,
games
Troy.
set in
How about
the
you?
world of motorcycle racing.
And Gracie also likes to be the good guy.
This game
Or do you like
is
to be the good
unique
girl?
in its genre and uses innovative technology in terms of simulation. Kiloton
looks half
provided
awake.
the engine we're using to develop this title, which helped us get up and running immediately and make our extensive experience in this field available to the whole group. Most of our developers have a lot of experience creating this type of game, and they ride motorbikes in real life, which I think
I'm guessing
is
maybe
very
it's a motorbike
important
game.
when making games like this. Because being able to
I wonder if maybe they called it like
recreate and
wheelie or
implement
something.
the same feelings
Alright, that's what I
as
thought. You're gonna be the
riding a
good
bike
girl,
in the
Gracie.
real
That's what I
world
thought.
is extremely important. Rims Racing is a completely new
Racing.
approach to the motorcycle simulation game experience.
So I guess it's not going to be called Wheelie.
In our game, you can use the top-of-the-line bikes from the biggest manufacturers in your quest to harness their power.
I really hope... Yeah, we're still going...
Our
Rims
game
Racing
provides
is
an
next. It's a
extremely
motorcycle game.
accurate riding experience and precise
No, this one
control
looks
of the
good,
bike.
hopefully.
We think it is hugely important for
Alright, hey,
fans
Noah.
of the genre.
Yeah, you want to take something for me?
But we also wanted to give beginners the chance to enjoy this type of game. So we also came up with an easier mode.
I like that.
New players discover the world of
How many times in
motorcycle
reviews I
racing.
put, they made it way too hard for casual gamers.
Our goal is to provide a high level
I
of
haven't either.
quality, especially in terms of recreating all the bike's details and how they behave in
For the
races.
Benefits TV show.
Players can enjoy many kilometers
Ooh,
of
kilometers.
asphalt on famous and iconic roads for motorcyclists and on real circuits, where you can experience
many
the
kilometers
passion
make a mile?
and thrill of overtaking
Oh, yeah,
at
Peter's showing
breakneck
us some of
speeds
our,
or closing the throttle before a
hopefully.
particularly tricky bend.
Maybe I think...
One of the unique features of our game is the ability to monitor the status
shows,
of
I
the
don't know if
bike
it
in real time. And of course, it will also be possible to compete online or pursue a long career in which you can show the world
Oh,
your
it's not for
riding
kids, so then,
prowess
no, I don't
and
know about it.
team
Sorry.
management credentials.
I thought it was the The funny, happy kids one.
One of our priorities is to give players the chance to modify
Ooh.
and manage the mechanical aspect of the bike. This obviously helps to provide better realism and more customization options for your bike.
There's one
Players
problem
will
here.
need to demonstrate that they are
Oh,
true
no, I have not
riders,
seen it. Don't know
keeping
about
in
it.
mind that knowing how to ride is not the only requirement. Rest assured, we're working very hard to ensure that Rims Racing sets a new standard for this type of game. So if you love games like this, stay tuned, because you'll experience something you've never experienced before.
Would that be crashing? Because I've done that in motorcycle games before. Like a lot.
Maybe if you go off the thing, it just says, no, you don't get to play, it plays for you.
It respawns you, it just goes.
You're just trying to, it's like, alright, listen here, you detriment.
Ooh, Cyanide Studios. They make games.
Many moons ago, mortals rose up against me and chased me down.
No, I've heard of Banana
Led
Split's
by
TV show. It was a kid's show.
hunters, wretched
I remember them singing the Banana Split song,
incapable of
that's about it.
seeing the beauty of a corrupted world.
I don't know, what is Cyanide
My
doing?
creatures and demons gave everything they had in
infected
the
poison.
fight.
No, the studios. They make some game that we've played.
I was
I
forced
want to say like a
to
strategy
the
game.
world of the living.
Maybe like a city
I
builder.
returned to hell to survive. For years, I consumed fresh
This doesn't
souls
sound
to
very good
regain
either.
my power, but their numbers are fast diminishing. I cannot.
I
wait
watched it
anymore.
one long time ago.
Claim my rightful place. It is time to gather my forces once more. Those who signed a pact with me will do as I order. They will spread terror and corruption
He sounds
in
like a
my
bad guy.
name. The time has come for my revenge.
The Alien?
Je suis Camille Lisoire.
I'm
je suis
Camille
la
Lisoire,
directrice artistique
and I'm the art
de
director
Rogue
on
Lords.
Rogue Lords.
We
We chose to place Rogue Lords in a world similar to New England in the 17th century, at the time of the Salem witch trials. In Rogue Lords, you play as the devil, who is returned on
sounds
Earth
bad.
after several years following his defeat to Van Helsing, his sworn
I
enemy.
have no idea how old I was when I watched it.
He calls on the services of well-known evil disciples such as Dracula and Bloody Mary. His disciples
going
are
back and
reminded
forth,
of the
one
pact
good,
they
one
signed
bad.
with him earlier, so they have no choice but
So
to work
T11 is
together
dabbing
as a
and
team to
smiling.
fight the devil's enemies. As you play on the side of evil, you obviously fight the forces of good. The forces of good are mainly demon hunters, but not all. There's also Sanctualumen, a mysterious organization you will encounter that seems to cause you a lot
They
of
sound
trouble.
like I'd like to play them.
It's a co-production with Laker, another studio from the Paris region. We
My
created
name
the
is
prototype
Smiley
of the
Face.
game with them a few years ago, so it was an obvious choice to continue developing the game with them. When Cyanide joined the Nacon
It's
fold,
a
we could finally
smaller
start production
thingy.
on the game we had dreamed about for several years.
qu'elle se fasse depuis plusieurs années.
Sorry.
Je voulais que ce soit un jeu
We wanted the game to be quite dark and mature.
essayer de faire quelque chose.
I always question that. Mature
We set
people
out
don't
to
go to the
explore
dark
gothic
things.
fantasy, and obviously the first influence we turned to was Tim Burton and all of his work,
de son œuvre et tout particulièrement le film Sleepy
especially the film
was a
Sleepy Hollow,
freak.
which takes place in the same time period. You can even find the Headless Horseman in our game. Rogue Lords is a roguelike.
Ça veut dire que le joueur va être amené à faire des
You do a series of runs to gain experience and acquire tools that will help
So
you in
hack and
achieving
slash?
your final goal.
but final. Donc c'est un jeu dans lequel les
Fights are very important in the game. It's turn-based combat,
Oh.
like in many roguelikes.
combats, on va diriger
In these fights, you control a team of 3 characters chosen from among the Devil's disciples,
Oh.
who each have a set of skills you can also choose. For example, Bloody Mary can place a mirror behind her enemies, and each time she deals damage, the damage is
what
reflected
I'm
to the
talking about.
enemy with the mirror behind them, so she can be extremely
Don't worry,
effective.
Gracie. This is not one where I'm
You can
covering.
also create combos between the different characters in your team. You explore a procedurally generated 3D map. You must search for different diabolical artifacts that the devil lost during the Great War against Van
It might have
Helsing.
been.
Each artifact corresponds to a different run. These runs can be played until you have enough experience,
Taka Taka.
so the game has infinite potential. An important aspect of the Rogue
Yes, we
Lords
talk.
is that because you play as the devil, you can cheat. So there really aren't any rules to the game. You can pause the game at any time. For example, during combat, when your disciples are in a bad way and close to death, the devil can take damage in their place.
Yes, it is dark. It's bad. It's
We really
horror.
wanted to give Rogue Lords a dark
They
and
just call it a
poetic
horror game.
atmosphere. And we hope that players have as much fun exploring this world as we did making it.
Not necessarily, just because I don't know this one's very nice.
Moving on.
Killing is very one of the dragons.
Controllers.
Bonjour.
Well, the
Hi,
sponsor.
I'm Yannick Allard, Director of Nacon Peripherals, and I want to talk to you today about the future of Nacon. For several years now, our team of designers, engineers, and project managers has been developing gaming peripherals for all the different consoles on the market and for PCs. We gained considerable expertise developing peripherals at Big Ben, and 6 years ago we decided to create the
I don't
Nacon
remember
brand.
hearing of them before.
We operate all over the world, Europe, Asia, Japan, so we are an international brand, and we are continuing to develop our
Taka
player
is such-
community.
such as-
We also have been lucky enough to partner with Sony, which has enabled us to develop officially licensed products, including controllers, such as the Revolution line of controllers, which has raised the profile of our brand throughout the world. A few months ago, we were delighted and proud to welcome RIG to the Nacon fold. RIG is a brand with a
that's when
global
we didn't know,
reputation.
was it?
Our different areas of expertise complement each other nicely. This acquisition will allow us to design and develop gaming accessories that will help you give your players an even more immersive gaming experience. We are facing new challenges. Today's players want to play everywhere. Cloud gaming is making this possible. The arrival of 5G means players can truly play anywhere. And we will support gamers by developing products designed for this new way of playing. We are already in discussions with lots of telecom operators,
telecom.
including Orange in France, to help them develop products
There you
for
go.
your smartphones.
Peter called it.
This year is an important year for us because we have welcomed RIG to the Nacon team.
But what? Your
But
phone?
I am also delighted
Peter
and
lost his phone.
proud to announce that we've entered into a partnership with Microsoft. With this new Microsoft partnership, we can develop new peripherals for PC, Xbox One consoles, and the next console generation.
Xbox One Series X.
The future is indeed bright for Nacon, and we can't wait to show
His
you
future's
our
so bright, he has to wear
in the coming
shades.
months.
Très impatient de pouvoir vous présenter ces nouveaux produits dans les mois qui vont arriver.
We got a werewolf game coming up pretty quick. Spiders presents. It's been back and forth.
That is a decapitated head in a chalice.
Maybe it's another toy battle game, you know. Welcome back, Gracie. Hello, Mr. Echo. How you doing? Nacon seems to be going back and forth between him and family-friendly titles. So
I mean, the controllers are finished.
yeah. Guy kind of reminded me of George Washington Carver, who's really into Peanuts. Those who don't know about George Washington Carver. Oh, George Washington. But like a robot George Washington? Android George Washington? Well, I am glad you're doing good, Mr. Echo. We are doing a react to the Nacon Connect. What flag is that? Steel Rising.
Sounds like a revolutionary game. Or the robot.
You mean it's revolutionary?
I would say it's
Bonjour, je suis
Hi,
Jeanne
my
Rousseau.
name is Jeanne Rousseau.
Yeah.
I'm the co-founder and president of Spiders. We're very
like
proud
freaking
to
out
introduce you
behind
to
you.
our new baby, the game Steel Rising.
She's not comfortable talking.
For our latest
take it easy,
game,
Milo.
Steel
You gotta
Rising,
say
we created a new and original universe especially for the game,
Napoleon fish, yeah.
and a very much more action-focused approach than the gameplay found in our previous titles. In Steel Rising, you play as Aegis, an automaton in female form,
automaton.
a masterpiece that serves as a bodyguard to Queen Marie Antoinette.
French Revolution, maybe.
And Queen Marie Antoinette has ordered us to seek out our creator to put an end to the massacres carried out by the robot army of King Louis
This could be tea.
XVI, who seems to have gone mad while trying to suppress the nascent revolution by unleashing an army of out-of-control robots. So your mission is to try to stop all of that. In this version of Paris, you find well-known monuments and others that don't exist anymore.
Yeah, in Paris. In Paris.
We recreated the Grand Châtelet, for example, and the Tour du Temple, the kind of places that characterize the period. When we envisaged Steel Rising, our basic premise was, what would have happened if Louis XVI had been a tyrant and could indulge his passions for machines and automatons to crack down on the revolution in its early stages? We wanted to add more verticality to exploration, so when you move around the Parisian streets, you don't just stay at ground level. And to move from fight to fight, we really wanted to exploit other types of movement. Climb up on a balcony, discover a secret passage to another location, that kind of thing. To avoid the harsh transitions found in many games when you're exploring, when you're like, oh, a fight, it's a sudden change of pace and a type of game, we wanted everything to be tied together more fluidly.
Cool.
Aegis has weapons integrated into her body because she's a robot, so it's pretty handy.
Yeah.
With each item you find while exploring, you can choose to make her more powerful, more mobile, or more durable. We've created more than 7 weapons, which are actually families of weapons. Because you can find many more as you progress through the game, and each one has its own unique characteristics. The weapons range from ones on your arms for very light combat, to alchemical rifles for long-range attacks, and much heavier weapons you can use to flatten your enemies with maximum force.
Heavy weapons.
I think many players will start off thinking, okay, I'll fight, take on these monsters, and find the best strategy. And what I hope, if I've done my job properly, is that they will end up getting immersed in this world. And they will want to explore more than just the strategic and tactical path to accomplish the main storyline.
What is that
We
red
put
thing
a
back
lot of
there?
effort into creating lots of side quests that enhance the world. So you can also find unique gear and items that tie into these quests. It's a world we've tried to make as deep and varied as possible.
It comes down. Oh, werewolf game next. I don't think this one's gonna be family friendly. I'm warning y'all now. Yeah, they cranked it. Okay, we won't show that. That's cool.
No use getting another copyright for something like that.
I'm gonna go sit over here on the
And I'll unmute the video capture when we get their games.
They make the Tour de France games.
Ah. And I muted the video capture just
Okay.
to hopefully not get us a copyright on the sound.
Too late, that's probably gonna be copyright. It's okay, let's go back.
That's cool.
It's okay.
Alright, you can go back now. No. You're streaming 2020 at the bottom.
Bonjour, je
Hi,
suis
I'm Alain Jarnoux,
créatif
creative director at KC Racing. We've been working on a project
Oh.
for several months now, and I think it's something many have been eagerly waiting for a long time. So I'm proud to be introducing it to you. Let's take a look.
Okay. KT Racing. They have the WRC one, maybe? And that could have been any others that hit too. The vampire one. We probably should have done that for vampire too. We're learning. Test Drive Unlimited.
I'm delighted to announce a new game in the Test Drive Unlimited series, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. You may recall that the Solar Crown is the name of the competition we had in the previous Test Drive Unlimited game. We wanted to reuse this name and the championship's concept, which is not a closed championship where the player is restricted to doing certain things. We wanted to give players a variety of things to do and the freedom to progress through the game however they want. So we developed a new Test Drive Unlimited concept by keeping the DNA of the game, but also evolving the gameplay in game modes to make them more modern and more in line with current trends and what today's players find fun. I know the Test Drive Unlimited franchise really well because I worked on the first TDU, Test Drive Unlimited 1. I also worked on Test Drive Unlimited 2. And we wanted to relaunch this great franchise because there's no real equivalent at the moment. It's a game that players really love, a game made for fans that is making a comeback today thanks to KT Racing and Nacon. This new Test Drive Unlimited game is benefiting from all of KT Racing's expertise in motor racing.
This is a game that players love. If they loved it so much, you would just keep releasing sequels, right? At some point, it had to stop selling.
WRC series,
otherwise,
which helped us develop an engine that can reproduce very diverse driving conditions, whether it's gravel, asphalt, etc. And that's an essential asset. When I play Test Drive Unlimited, I obviously want to buy a Ferrari, Lamborghini, or Bugatti. So it's a unique world in terms of the cars you can buy.
Probably
and
PS5,
also in terms of your avatar,
yeah.
for which you have lots of customization options, like luxury clothes and accessories. To add more realism to Test Drive Unlimited, we created an island at a 1-for-1 scale, which is important for authenticity and the game experience. I like to go to places that exist in the game world, so everything you can see, you can visit. My goal is to indulge my passion for cars with the car fan community at full throttle. When does Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown release? I can't give you a precise date right now because we want to spend time perfecting the game, improving the technology and game experience, and listening to the fan community after the game's announcement, so we can make Test Drive Unlimited as great as possible. I'm really happy to have unveiled Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. The team is having a great time with this game.
How you doing?
I am extremely proud to be able to create a new game for this amazing franchise, and I hope I can share more about it with you very soon.
Oh yeah, that one, but then also later they're going to bring Bonk back. Konami was going to, and they did. 16.
Bonjour, je suis Jean-Michel Villain.
I'm Jean-Michel Villain, creative director and CEO of Abraham Studio, and today I'm pleased to introduce to you the game Roguebook.
Roguebook.
It's a roguelike deck builder. When you start the game, you choose 2 heroes from a selection of 4.
Did anyone out there enjoy card
have
games
a hero combination
on video games? Do you
start a
let me
card
know,
deck?
yes or no?
And as you progress
I
through
should
the
probably
game
do a
world, encountering
poll on
and
that.
fighting enemies, you craft more and more cards as in-deck building games to gradually improve your deck. It's a roguelike, so you can lose 1 hero.
I like that Warhammer
If
for a
you lose
bit.
2, you have to start the game from the beginning. All content is procedurally generated, so you can't make the same choice twice because the content changes from one run to the next. There's also an aspect to the game that we call the overworld. It's a map you walk around in and explore the world, which has been spawned by the Roguebook.
Did you see that animation?
In this layer, you can find bonus artifacts and treasure, and also encounter enemies, win battles, fight bosses, etc. Find gems and customize your deck based on the enemies you defeat. Once you've finished the game the first time on the basic difficulty level, you'll see that there are things that you can unlock to help you advance to the next difficulty level. The difficulty increases, but the player also has more options, which means more combinations are possible, and it never gets bored. All the game's action takes place in the Roguebook, which is actually the lore book of our first game, Feria. So it's a type of compendium that includes all the legends and stories of the universe of Feria, which is a huge world. If adventurers open the book, they are sucked inside and become trapped. As for the game's heroes, we chose 4 of the most popular heroes from Feria, which were characters that we put the most effort into when developing Feria. There's Shara, who is quite a badass adventurer. Soroko, who is an ogre triton, Cypher, the rat demon, and Aurora, the turtle. I'd say our approach was to revisit Feria with Miyazaki's approach to make something with more animism, where everything ultimately has a soul, which creates a universe full of spirits that are somewhat enigmatic.
It's Entei.
We also wanted to take Roguebook to another level. For this, we collaborated with a legend in the card game world. He is co-designer on the project, and he has a game mechanic he wants to explain to you. So I'll hand you over to him.
He can't buy new jeans.
Hi, I'm Richard Garfield. I'm best known as the designer of Magic the Gathering, which is the world's first trading card game. And, since then, I've designed a lot of other games and studied a lot of games and co-authored a book called The Characteristics of Games. My involvement with Roguebook began with being a fan of Feria. Feria is a digital card game, and
I never heard of Feria, did you?
Board in a unique way.
I wouldn't say we missed it.
I found very appealing. In fact, I had to quit the game because I was spending too much time on it. And there's not too many games I can say that about. When the Abracam team decided they were interested in doing a deck builder, we talked. I really love deck builders, and so we decided that there was a good opportunity there for partnership. And that's how I became a co-designer for Roguebook. One of my favorite innovations with Roguebook is the fat deck system. The fat deck system began when I shared with the team my interest in a deck builder which at the high end was not so involved with getting rid of cards from your deck. Most deck builders, this is an important part of the strategy. It's you add some cards, but then you spend a lot of time getting rid of cards. And getting rid of cards is not as much fun as adding them. Getting rid of cards often gets rid of cards which are interesting but don't really fit with your deck, and also makes the deck more consistent. I wanted to see a game where it was possible to pursue a strategy which was much more about getting a big deck, which was a little less predictable but a lot of fun. We went about that by making it so that you get rewarded by getting certain thresholds of cards in your deck. This is done through having a skill tree for each of your characters, and when you get up to a certain number of cards, you get to choose a skill for your character. That way, you get a really custom experience with your deck in several different ways. Well, I think it'll bring an entirely new type of deck building possibility to players. They can pursue building a large deck rather than just the lean fighting machine, which is so important in most deck builders. Personally, I like to build decks that are a little less predictable, where you have to think a little bit more on your feet, and that's what the big deck is all about. So this will give more options for people in how they engage with the game. Well, I hope you all enjoy playing Roguebook as much as we've enjoyed putting it together.
Or just rush whatever it's a strategy that gives the first one to. Usually the deck I run, I run because I just straight rush.
Remember this game? AO Tennis. What's the Tennis World Tour? It was like average.
There it is. There it is.
Echo Software Chaos Bane.
It's coming to PS5. Your favorite game, and it's new DLC.
Is that the card game or is that Warhammer?
It's a Vermintide. So.
Ooh, WRC 9.
It is a Vermintide already, so it's a card game.
Oh, come on. You gotta show what really happens. Just go flying off the track.
This actually means I subdued. Oh, alright. Thank you, straight.
Slight incline to right. Turn 3.
45 degree. Flip over.
Turn left 4. Jump. Jump.
Left 90 degree.
Straight ahead.
Jump turn.
Left 30. Right 40. Left 30.
Straight ahead.
Bump.
September 3rd.
September 3rd, alright. Well, it's going to be in the Epic Game Store, too. And it's on Switch. They probably won't look as good on Switch. Oh. Nacon thanks you.
Hey, what time is it?
38.
It was right!
There's a Tour de France. Oh, there's one of the rugby games. I think that's all. That was rugby. Hunting simulator. Controllers. Maybe they sponsor some esports. Oh, there's a motorcycle. You guys know anything about the flips? It's like, yeah, I knew that was PS5 immediately. Is that all?
I believe so.
Should we swap over?
Yes, I will. Bop. Bop.
Alright, so that is the Nacon Connects event. You got it? Okay. Well, I mean, I can.
You give your thumb.
I mean, we can just leave it right now. Get back to it.
Alright. In case there's an after, we don't want it to play.
Okay. So that's the Nacon. They went kind of back and forth between non-family friendly and family friendly.
A lot more family friendly stuff than that was non-family friendly.
Yeah, I'd say out of the 9, maybe it was like 5 that were family friendly and 3 to 4 that weren't.
Some of them it could be.
Some of them are questionable, yeah, one way or the other. But I'm encouraged by, of course, the motorcycle game. WRC 9 should be fun. Trying to think what else. Is there anything else that really stuck out?
There's the motorcycle racing game. There was.
I said the motorcycle racing game.
There's that tennis game that looks neat.
Tennis is on.
There was WRC, so there's 2 racing games right there.
Yeah, the motorcycle racing game, WRC, tennis. Those all look good. If that automaton French Paris game is T, that might be interesting.
The card game could be awful, but we might play it.
Yeah, we might mess with the card game. I don't know. It kind of depends.
The gaming peripherals will probably look at though.
Yeah,
it's also going to be cheaper than the mainstream type peripherals.
Yeah, and if they send us some of the peripherals, we'll definitely cover them.
I hate to see what the controllers cost, and supposedly the game's supposed to be costing $70 or $80. I think Gracie's going to be superstar.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Looking at, scrolling through all the chat, and I was about ready to, unless you have more thoughts, sign off. So the superstar of the stream will be Gracie's Toy Stories and Reviews. I'd like to thank everyone for watching.
I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Alright, now we can work on putting everything.